Well, hey there. We have another fantastic Charm Cochran horror story game to play. This is called We the Remainder. For the best experience, please play this game full screen on a desktop browser. It contains mature themes and isn't intended for anyone under the age of 16. Let's read some trigger warnings. There are no images or jump scares in this game, but the text may be frightening or triggering. While this game is not adults only, it is intended for mature audiences. It is not appropriate for children. It may not be appropriate for those who are easily disturbed. This game contains references to and depictions of cult activity and ritual abuse, and explores many of the topics and techniques related to those subjects. More specific trigger warnings are broken up by the category below. Let's see. Physical violence. We have blood and gore, child abuse, death, physical abuse, violence, animal violence, and sacrifice. Oh my goodness gracious. This is going to get pretty heavy indeed. Very culty. Psychological violence, including child abuse, cult activity, verbal and emotional abuse, mental illness, mind control, ableism, psychological abuse, manipulation, and gaslighting. Self-harm. Characters encouraging and enabling self-harm, self-harm in cutting, and references to suicide. Sex and sexuality. We have homophobia and heterosexism, including homophobic violence. Sexism and misogyny. References to rape and sexual assault, including of a minor. Transphobia. Ooh boy. And other. We have amnesia and memory loss, disassociation, drug abuse, hallucination, physical disability, use of a wheelchair, starvation, and trauma. Please do whatever you need to do, and take whatever time you need to take to stay safe while playing this game. Which means if you need to pause, or if you just not need to watch, do that. Alright, now that it's all said and done, let's begin. It's been 24 days since everyone else floated up. You haven't been out since then. Mama doesn't like you leaving the flat without her, and the effort of getting down the stairs hasn't been worth it anyway. But you ran out of food days ago. Your stomach is growling nearly constantly now. You need to find something to eat. And who are you anyway? So, from my understanding, the rapture has happened in this scenario. And we're one of the people who did not get to ascend. And as we also understand, it's been 24 days. 24 days afterwards. So I think of, because from my understanding of how the rapture is, those who are not ascended to heaven, basically like hell on earth or something, right? Like that. I'm sure there's more to it than that. I'm so sure. I obviously have a very vague idea. So I'm more than happy for you to correct me in the comments. I'm just telling you what I currently understand in this moment in time. But I'm happy to be educated. Delilah, Edith, Mary, Phoebe. They're all kind of fun names. I've played the Edith Finch game, so Edith is a fun little name. Delilah makes me think of Hey There, Delilah, so don't love that. Mary is just a classic good name, like Virgin Mary, I suppose. That's kind of suitable. But I also like the name Phoebe, mostly because it makes me think of Friends. But yeah, it's a good name. We're gonna go with Phoebe. Ah, yes, Phoebe. Such a good girl. You wake up in your mama's apartment again. Oh, very purpley pinky. You wheel your way into the room. Same mauve carpet, same framed photos, same brass crucifix. You can see Mama's chair, a window, and Mama's Bible. Mama's chair. It is big. It is threadbare. It is forbidden. Look away. A window. You can see down to Throne Street below. It was never unusual to see it empty before, but still. The carcass is still on the street below. It looks like it was once a person, but it's hard to tell more than that without the skin. Ooh. Gross. There are pure white feathers stuck in the gore. They flutter in a light breeze. Most of the rest of the wings have been torn off, but one jagged bone still sticks out of the left shoulder blade straight into the air. Was this supposed to be like an angel? Ooh. For a while, you thought you could hear a baby crying if you pressed your ear to the glass, but that stopped weeks ago. It could have been your imagination. I'm going to look away from the window, fucking A. And Mama's Bible. Mama's Bible is well loved and worn. The leather cover is faded and soft. It smells like her. There are bookmarks all along its length, and many verses are highlighted. You flip to one of the marked verses. And I saw heaven opened, and behold a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. Revelations 19:11. I think is it chapter 19, verse 11? Is that right? Or Psalm 19? I don't know. I apologize. I guess we'll flip to another verse. Let's see. What else we got? And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Revelations 20:10. I guess another one. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Dang, these are pretty intense. And I looked to behold a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. How many verses are there in here? Interesting. And I saw it as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. Okay, we're luckily hitting repeats now, so we'll go away from that. Bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, hallway. I say we wheel our way into our room, so we also don't really have the means to move around much, do we? Let's start with the bathroom. Bad memories circle here, like everywhere else. The lights are off. The tile is worryingly slippery under your wheels. You can see the toilet, the bathtub, and the medicine cabinet. Let's try the toilet. You don't need to go, and your bedpan was empty when you woke up. As unpleasant as it is to actually get on the thing, the fact that you don't need to only serves to remind you how long it's been since you've eaten. I see. The bathtub. You remember something. Ooh, you were sitting in the bathtub. Mama was kneeling on the tiles next to you, scrubbing your body and pouring water over your head. The water was too hot. Steam rose off of it and fogged up Mama's glasses. You'd squirmed uncomfortably, but had known better than to say anything. Still, Mama had noticed. She noticed everything. You know why the water has to be hot, Phoebe. You did know. She told you. It still hurt. You couldn't help but wince each time she poured the scalding water over your head. Sometimes during these baths, you'd fantasize about standing up and running, getting as far away from Mama as you could. But of course, that was impossible. Why does the water have to be hot, sweet girl? Because fire washes away the sin. That's right, she'd said. But I can't wash you in fire because I love you. So this is the next best thing. I shall make you as clean and pure and radiant as your namesake. By the time she lifted you out of the tub, your fingers were wrinkled and your skin was pink. Return to the present. Ooh, okay, so Mama didn't love us. Medicine cabinet. 1 tub of toothpaste, 2 toothbrushes, Mama's meds, a week's worth left. Q-tips, cotton balls, a first aid kit. Okay. That's good to know what's in there. I guess we'll try the kitchen. Your chair wheels squeak on the floor. The light's been out for a while now. You can see the fridge and the cabinets. Let's try the fridge. It's empty, aside for a bit of residue at the very bottom. You ate the last of the food 2 days ago. You close it. No point in torturing yourself. Look closer? Okay. The goo at the bottom smells putrid. You were considering licking it up, but now you're certain you just vomit it back out. Oh, that's gross. Let's try the cabinets. They've been empty a lot longer than the fridge has. No point in even opening them, really. Alright, cool. Back to the living room. Let's try the hallway. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, we could probably potentially even leave. So maybe we go back to the apartment for now. We'll come back there. Let's try the bedroom. You will back into the bedroom you and Mama share. Shared. Your 2 beds sit against opposite walls of the room. You shared 1 closet between you. You can see your bed, Mama's bed, and a loose floorboard. Let's try my bed. It looks so comfortable, but you just got up. It's not worth the effort. Swinging your body up, manually pulling your legs over, that will be required to lay back down. Alright. Mama's bed. When you were very little, Mama used to respond when you called out in the grip of a nightmare. She would pick you up and carry you to her bed, where it was safe. She hasn't done that in years, though. Loose floorboard. This is the one space that is all yours. This is the one part of the apartment Mama hasn't seen. This is where you keep the most special thing in the world. What do you see as you pull up the floorboard? Ooh, baseball cap, blanket, smooth rock, teddy bear. I say a teddy bear. You got this bear as a Christmas gift from a childhood friend, Beryl. The next year, she disappeared. You could never quite get a straight answer about what happened to her. Mama tried to throw it away 3 times already, but each time you pulled it out of the trash. The third, you'd stuffed it here and only pulled it out when Mama was away. Oh, sorry, my nose is itchy. You squeeze it, feeling its softness underneath the matted fur. You feel comforted. Put the floorboard back. We now no longer can look at the floorboard. Okay. Well, let's go into the hallway. No point in closing the apartment door behind you anymore. There was never really any point to begin with. Every one of the children of Adam is family. You tried your best to water the plant in the corner, at least at first. The overhead light has been out for a while. The darkness turns this space alien and uneasy. Stairs are, I guess we'll try elevator first. It's been out for weeks. No point in even trying to force the doors open. You might just get yourself stuck inside. That's fair. That's fair. Well, we're going to have to do another painful thing then and try the stairs. You have what you need now. You touch your bear again to remind yourself. But the question is, are you ready? Go for it. You take a deep breath and hoist yourself out of your chair. You hit the ground harder than you expected and take a moment to let the shock and pain subside. You say a quick prayer, then push your chair over the lip of the stairs. Miraculously, it stays upright all the way down. Interesting. It's a slow process getting yourself down without it. A lot of scooting your rear end down one stair at a time, using your arms to push and move your legs so your center of gravity doesn't shift too far forward. You stop halfway to catch your breath. All of a sudden, you feel intense vertigo. What are you doing? Mama told you to stay put. Are you going to be bad? Your head throbs. Your vision is growing fuzzy. You can't do this. You're not strong enough. You must have blacked out. The next thing you know, you're sitting at the bottom of the stairs, head in your hands. Your vision takes a long time to clear. As you put yourself back into your chair, your stomach growls. Go outside. This is the street you've lived on your entire life. It's lined with other houses. It is so quiet. You can see an overturned garbage can, an abandoned basketball, and a corpse. You feel a chill. Now, I think that corpse is the same one that we saw from up top, so we'll definitely investigate that later. Let's start with the overturned garbage can. It's laying on its side, the opening yawning towards you. It was full when it tipped, and its contents have spilled out into the concrete. It's clearly been picked through. Prophet Hunter had been decreeing the death of that raccoon for weeks. Much of his lighter contents have been blown down the street. Look closer. Anything remotely edible is gone, except you see a few crumbs. You hurriedly pick them up with the tip of your finger and deposit them in your mouth. When you bite down, pain lances through a tooth on your left side. You spit into your palm and see a piece of gravel was mixed in. Furious, you hurl it into the grass. That sucks. Oh, ugh. Let's try an abandoned basketball. You were never allowed to play. You would hear it bounce on the pavement outside your window and feel so jealous of the boys next door. Now it sits, abandoned, half deflated, on their driveway. You want to take it with you, but you know it's not worth it. You might need to hold on to something more important later. It's fair. Ay, your ribs slide against your skin. Ugh. Let's try the corpse. He was probably handsome when he had his skin. Up close, you could see that his wings were probably snapped on purpose. The jagged tips looked like the result of hasty, brutal violence. His blood is dried and the shape it pooled. It's hard to tell if he died in the air and fell, or laid down here to expire. You were cowering in the bathtub as it happened. You're glad you didn't witness it. You're glad that you don't know which of the sounds you heard was this angel's dying scream. Called it. Look closer. You briefly consider the horrible thought of... No. You force yourself to push it away, even as your body protests. You lick your chapped lips. We can either go inside, like back, or we go Throne Street continues east, or Alpha Alley. Let's try Alpha Alley. You roll your way down the alley, following the western side of the fence that surrounds the community. The one-room schoolhouse where you've spent the majority of your days sits to the east, its door slightly ajar. You can see the fig trees and the fence. You lick your chapped lips. The community. We're definitely in some kind of occult compound then, aren't we? But things have happened. Angels attacked? Or there were angels maybe when the rapture was ongoing or something? Interesting. Let's try the fig trees. Maybe food. The courtyard in front of the school is absolutely full of them. They're low to the ground and easy for children to reach up and take one for their morning prayers in school. Figs here and milk and honey at the market. You truly do live in the promised land. Look closer. There are no figs on any of the trees. Not a single one. All right. The fence. You're not confident you'll stay upright if you wheel off the pavement in order to get closer. Nevertheless, you've always been grateful for the fence. As Mama once said, if it weren't for the fence, you could get swallowed up instantly by the thick woods beyond and lost forever. If you could somehow get off the path first. Usually someone's assigned to keep the branches trimmed exactly at the fence line. Now, they've just started to creep over it again. You lament that you have no way of reaching them. I guess we'll try the schoolhouse. The door was ajar, but there's no one inside. It's just one room, but with the lights off, it seems to stretch into infinity. 25 familiar desks become countless alien forms. You can see your desk, Miss Pearl's desk, and a map of the community. Ooh, let's start with our desk. You remember something. A day during your 6th year in school. Oh boy. Though really, it could have been any school day. The class began each day with the same ritual. Miss Pearl, the community teacher, would stand in front of the class. She would wait for everyone to be quiet. And then she would shout, "Who are we?" You all knew the answer by heart. The children of Adam. Who are you? The children of the children. What must children do? Obey their mothers. What must mothers do? Obey their fathers. Who is the father? Prophet Hunter. Who is the father's father? Our Lord God. What is the father's word? Unavoidable. What is the father's will? Inescapable. Who are you? The children of the children. What must you do? Obey. Ugh, a lot of culty brainwashing going on for sure. Miss Pearl's desk. You've never been on this side of the desk before. Miss Pearl never called you up to answer an addition problem or spell a word on the chalkboard. She knew you couldn't reach even halfway up it from your chair. The room seems much bigger from here. The 25 desks spread out before you. You think you understand why Miss Pearl was so shaky by the end of each day. This many faces would be intimidating. The desk itself is big and solid and heavy. It has 2 drawers. Look closer. You open the top drawer of the desk. Inside there are papers, pencils, and a big brass key with a tag reading Chapel. Why did Miss Pearl have this? You hesitate for a moment, then put the key in the pocket on the back of your chair. There's a kitchen in the chapel. Look closer. The bottom drawer opens with a rattling sound. It is absolutely full of the same kind of little yellow bottles that Mama's meds come in. You've sifted through them. They're almost all empty. You pluck one out and hold it up to read the label. What in the world is oxycodone? 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 I think oxycodone. Oxycodone, I believe is how you pronounce it. Look away! Map of the community. That's nice. A little bit like ASCII work. That's great, man. It's the same map you've seen every day of the same streets you've lived on your entire life. You know the streets well. You feel no need to look for too long. On an impulse, though, you decide to take the map with you just in case. Ooh, I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this. Prophet Hunter's Mansion. The chapel's over there. Down Lamb Lane, that's good to know. Farmland, that could be where some food is. Statue Gate, Chrysalit Boulevard, Wormwood Way, Sickle Street, North Wormwood Way. And we're here at the schoolhouse. We're just here. We're just here. We just came from there. We went down Alpha Alley a little bit. Okay. So we could keep going further down to reach the lake, pavilion and stuff like that. Maybe we try to head towards the mansion, the farmland, and the chapel. So we need to go Throne Street and Lamb Lane is how we... Oh, there's also a fucking thing here. What is that? All question marks? Interesting. Let's get out of here. Okay. We have a map. You rib slide against your skin. Do we keep going down or do we go back up? I say we go back up. Throne Street. This is the street you've lived on your entire life. It's lined with other houses. It is so quiet. You can see an overturned garbage can, abandoned basketball, and a corpse. Let's go Throne Street. You wheel down the street where you live, past the rows of squat, scarlet residential buildings. You've never heard it this quiet before. You see the residential buildings and a broken crucifix. Residential buildings? They're still cold and silent. Inside, no hymns are sung. Inside, no breath is drawn. The beast is laughing. You wonder if there might be some unspoiled food in someone else's apartment. You imagine an icy hand closing around your throat. You doubt you can make it up the stairs anyway. Oh god, this is dark, isn't it? It's dark and it's visceral. Broken crucifix. For as long as you can remember, that crucifix has been stuck in the ground, casting its shadow across the street. A reminder. The vertical beam has been snapped near the base, and the majority of the cross lays on the ground. Your head feels fuzzy. Do we try Prophet Hunter's mansion? I suppose so. Let's keep going east. This section of the street is dominated by Prophet Hunter's mansion. It's the biggest building in the community. You can see the woman mystery and a corpse. The woman mystery? The mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Even a whole different font and everything. She dances, drunken with the blood of the saints and the martyrs, in the corner of your eye. In the time it takes to turn and look straight at her, she vanishes. You feel relieved. That's interesting. It's the corpse. You think it might be Miss Pearl. You can't be sure. There's a lot missing. Looks like some kind of carnivore has already been here. Or maybe more than one. The temptation is strong. The meat glistens, so tender, so close. It takes everything you have not to tip yourself out of your chair and dig in. Let's try his house. The front door is locked. Why is it locked? No one locks their doors in the community. No one has any reason. 7th Street is the only one in the community with a median. You can smell something sweet. You see acacia trees and a golden staircase. Let's try the acacia trees. Line part of the median of 7th Street, a reminder of the tabernacle and commandments within. They're looking rather overgrown now. What about a golden staircase? Stands free in the middle of the street, ascending towards the sky. It almost hurts to look at. There's no way you're making it up with your chair. On closer inspection, it looks like it only ascends for about 50 feet, before abruptly cutting off over the trees outside. You decide not to go look at the ground below the other end. Ooh, in case people... farmland, hello. There's an acre or two of land here devoted to crops. Nature has already started to reclaim it. Your mouth waters. You can see so many vegetables. Let's go. Oh, heavenly bounty. It would appear absolutely nothing was harvested. It's all been left to sit here. Just for you. You brace your hands on your chair arms and launch yourself to the ground, landing on your belly. The wind is knocked out of you, but you push forward and begin to dig. The food is extremely ripe, but you bat the flies away. The sheer sweetness that explodes in your mouth in your first bite causes you to emit a sound you'd never make with anyone else nearby. It's not enough to feed you forever, or even past the day, but it's enough for now. You eat your fill. We're not going to die right away. It's fantastic. Good. Let's see more vegetables. Parsnips, carrots, zucchini, celery, all of the fibrous staples of your diet. Many of them are crawling with ants or maggots. Most of them are still on the ground. You see a few baskets overturned, but mostly empty anyway. Farm equipment? Pitchforks, plows, shovels, hoes. They lie around as if they were dropped without warning as people began to run. Or float. Look closer. The metal is much more rusted than it should be after only 28 days. Interesting. 4 angels, are they like dead? Oh, maybe not. They tower over everything around them, shining with a pure white light. They're perfectly still, yet there's enough potential energy to shatter the world to pieces. They are all 4 perfect, all 4 powerful, all 4 impassive. They're holding back the wind from blowing. They watch you coolly. You daren't say anything. Look closer. You think if one of them willed it, you'd be burned to nothing but charcoal in an instant. You feel that might happen regardless if you stare too long. Okay, so there are some alive angels, apparently. Let's continue south. This is the livestock area. You wheel your way through the gate and close it securely behind you. You see the wall, the animals, and the barn. Let's start with the wall. A stone wall, too high to see over, surrounds the area where the livestock are kept. There's only a single gate where the people responsible for the animals' care can enter and leave. It's the only freestanding wall inside the community, but it's there for good reason. It ensures no animals can get out or in. Cool. The animals. Takes you a moment to realize you've been smelling something rancid for a while. Looks like you found the source. Despite the fact that the dogs of the community simply could not have gotten over them to the wall, all of the cows, goats, and pigs are now nothing but cold, mutilated meat. Ugh. There's one that looks like it may have exploded. There are chunks scattered in about a 5-foot radius, and the entire area smells like vomit. And then speaking of the dogs, you know if you encounter any, they'll be hungry. You'd rather they not feast on you. Pulling your shirt over your nose, you reach down and take 3 large chunks of meat off of the ground. They're horrifically cold and squishy. We're getting some useful items here at the barn. Painted a dull red. Those animals asleep inside there. You know, in addition to stables, it also has feeding troughs and a small closet where the shovels and pitchforks used for the animals' care are stored. Interesting. Looks like there's upkeep to be done. The roof is sagging quite badly. Well, I think we're done here, back on 7th Street. Ooh, hang on, Lamb Lane. So we could still hit the chapel. That's probably a good shout. Lamb Lane. The entire road is paved, despite the fact that supply trucks only ever drive in as far as the market. See another corpse. This one is more complete than the other. He still has his skin. His face is carven, and his body looks significantly stronger than the average. You leave that train of thought there. That is, of course, except for his wings. They look more like those of a bat than a bird. They spread out on the ground underneath him, and you can see they've clearly been perforated. Is he supposed to be like a demon, then? On further inspection, you can see poking out of his hair 7 horns. Small protrusions of bone look like the first sprouts on a baby ram. Yeah, I just wonder if he's supposed to be some kind of a devil demon thing. Let's go to Lamb Lane. The chapel sits on the side of the road. The church sign, let's go. Revelations 22:11. You know that one. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. You shiver. The topaz, in reality, is a conglomerated sculpture made up of many small topazes. Prophet Hunter once told a group of students the topaz allows one to enter the house of worship with a clear head and an assurance of safety. You're not sure how it works, but you believe him. Look closer. It's still the prettiest thing you've seen in your life. You wheel around it a few times and watch it sparkle in the dull light. Okay. Let's try the chapel, since we have that key. Rows of pews, all empty. As always, the stained glass casts the entire room in a rainbow hue. You can see the altar, the organ, and the stigmata. There's also a labyrinth to our right. Let's start with the altar. That was a car, sorry. You experience an emotion similar to the one you felt standing behind Miss Pearl's desk. Only the most senior community leaders ever stood up here, facing out towards the congregation of children. You feel a bit dizzy, but you rub over the surface of your bear and return to yourself. The altar is a white stone pedestal with a red velvet cloth draped over it. There are several objects on it that Prophet Hunter used during services. The first thing that catches your eye is an ornate brass key. The head is an open circle with bars forming an H inside. Could this be the key to his house? Ooh, his mansion. He would almost certainly have food in his house, and you know right where to find it. It's right down the street from your building. You put the key in the pocket in the back of your chair. Sweet. On the altar sits a chalice, a clear bottle full of golden oil, Prophet Hunter's personal Bible, 7 candles, or rather 7 piles of burned down red wax, a plate with a puddle of dried blood on it, and a sardonyx knife. What about the organ? It's contained in something resembling an armoire. The cabinet doors are closed right now, but you can conjure the image of what's inside from memory. 18 pipes, 45 keys, 10 knobs, and 5 pedals. You were fascinated with it when you were little. Amethyst, the woman who was in charge of playing during services, hadn't allowed you any illusions of ever playing it. Working feet were something of a prerequisite, but she didn't mind you watching her as she played. Thus you can remember each part exactly, even if you're not sure what they all do. Cardelian once told you there were organs in the outside world that were 50 feet tall, with 10,000 pipes, 8 keyboards, and 40 pedals. But he wouldn't tell you where specifically these technical marvels were located, no matter how many times you asked. Look closer. The cabinet doors are locked and you don't have a key. You can press your ear to it. Inside, you hear a steady thumping, and the sound of wet flesh moving against itself. I don't have a key for that, but I do have a key for something else. The stigmata. The familiar image of Jesus on the cross. You've seen it so many times. You almost didn't notice there was something different about it now. The carving is made of solid onyx, and you've never before seen it wet. On close inspection, it would appear the figure of the Son of God is crying. You touch your fingers to the liquid, and they come away red. Mmm. Labyrinth? You remember something. You were sitting out by the labyrinth. You couldn't walk it. The path was too uneven for your wheels. But you liked to sit underneath one of the trees in the courtyard to think or read. It was a quiet place. People didn't tend to linger there except immediately after services. You'd always found it easy to concentrate there. You were feeling pleasantly floaty that day, which was unusual. Usually when you get floaty, you struggle to concentrate and your head hurt. You didn't hear him walking up behind you. You only noticed him once he squatted down beside your chair. Prophet Hunter was a large man, both tall and wide. He wore, as he always did, his ceremonial robes. "What are you reading, child?" he asked. You showed him. It was a version of Revelations with his own annotations. You didn't trust yourself to speak coherently. You'd never spoken with him directly before. He nodded. There was no change in his sage expression then. He turned his eyes to look at your face. "Do you know why you're in a chair, child?" You shook your head. You honestly didn't. He nodded, somewhat sadly, and then he told you. "It's because you're a sinner." It was because you were a sinner. It's a punishment. Of course it was. Do you understand? You'd nodded. He'd reciprocated. Now, many people would see you as a lost cause, he continued. But I see something in you. You were awestruck. He could see something in you? You felt yourself blushing. He didn't seem to notice. You were named for one blessed by our Lord God, and I believe you could be just as righteous as the rest of us. But you'll have to study and pray and work extra hard. Can you do that for me? You nodded. You would have done anything for him. His face had broken into a wide smile as he stood. That's a good girl. I knew I could count on you. He rested his hand on your shoulder. Stayed there for a long while. That was kind of sad and somewhat pleasant. In a fucked up kind of way. The courtyard is empty, as it so often is. You suppose it will be empty for the rest of time. You can see the labyrinth and the trees. Let's try the labyrinth. You never walked it, of course, but you still find comfort in tracing the gravel path with your eyes from the edge to the center and back. Others walked it before or after services, or whenever they had important decisions to make. Most of the time, though, like now, you and it were here alone. The trees. Most of the time you were in school or in services, you were here. It was easier to sit on the trees and read than to sit at home. I guess that is everything we can do here at the chapel at the moment, except for we need some kind of an organ key. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know. This is awesome. So this is like a proper text adventure game, but in like a really kind of fucking crazy setting. It's fucking charm does it again. That's all I gotta say. Okay. So we're here at the chapel. That's the little labyrinthy area we've been. So we have the key for Prophet Hunter's mansion. We've also got some meat in case we come across dogs. So that way we don't die, which sounds good. I guess we head back to the mansion first. Because we've explored that. The schoolhouse, the chapel, the farmlands. Yeah, I say we do the mansion before we go any further south. I think that's the call. So if we go left, up, right, we'll get there pretty quick. Okay. Omega Street. This road runs behind the schoolhouse. You travel down it several times a week for your entire life. It's the quickest route to the chapel. Storage shed. It's a rundown building squatting behind the schoolhouse. You don't actually know what it's used for. It's a storage shed. You don't need to know what's inside. Sorry, place to ask questions. Look away, little harlot. Okay. Rude. Patch of flowers. I might be a harlot, but I'm a damn good-looking one. It's a patch of hyacinth flowers. Carnelian, a boy a few years your senior, planted them to celebrate his transition into adulthood. Aww. He explained to you that the hyacinth flower was a symbol of prudence and a reminder of the desire for heaven. He also told you, in a conspiratorial tone, that the bulbs could be poisonous if you ate enough, and that they could give you a rash if you touched them. Several of the stems are bare, their purple crowns plucked off. I guess everybody's fine then. Back up to Throne Street. Excellent. Back to the mansion. Let's go to Prophet Hunter's house. We got in. Ooh, we're in. The ceiling is the highest you've ever seen. The walls and furniture are covered in art and ornamentation, but doesn't catch your eye over any others. Now, this is going to be an interesting place because the fact that it was locked makes me feel like that's deliberate. So somebody either was or still is inside. Sorry, there is also stairs just behind my head. I'm sorry, I'm covering that. Excuse me, God. Dining room, ceremony room, stairs, kitchen. Let's start with the dining room. A long dining table takes up the majority of the room. You wonder how it's possible to hold conversations from either end. You can see Prophet Hunter's most recent supper. It would appear he had some kind of bird. Not chicken. Could it be duck? Duck is delicious. Even if you knew what a duck dinner looked like, it's hard to really discern through all the maggots. Ooh, look closer. The roasted vegetables are identifiable, though, even through the mold that coats them. You know they definitely don't grow eggplants or cauliflower on the community farm. Interesting. So he gets those from somewhere else. Back to the entryway. Let's try the kitchen. It is clean and neat and huge. The marble countertops have only the finest coating of dust. Everything is in its place. You can smell something delicious. Garden? Oh, heavenly bounty. This is his private garden? It's nearly as large as the entire community farmland. And the food growing here. Grapes and corn and mint and broccoli and peaches. As if by God's own will, a peach falls from its tree and lands directly in front of you. You lean forward and snatch it immediately. When you bite into it, the juice dribbles down your chin. You briefly ask yourself why Prophet Hunter would keep all this to himself, when the rest of you had barely enough to get by. There's a revelation somewhere in your brain, but something else blocks it from surfacing. The impulse it spawns, though, reaches you clearly. You collect enough for the journey you're coming to see is necessary. There's so much food left, but you take it all your pocket can store. The land and the house that stands upon it aren't somewhere you'd like to linger much longer anyway. They've begun to feel sinister. They've begun to feel dead. Oh, okay, let's try the ceremony room. Oh, you don't like this room. It's dark and draped with purple cloth. The back of your neck prickles, but there's no one behind you that you can see. You see an altar and a cabinet. Altar? It's nearly entirely made of pure black stone, but there's a thin layer of blue on top. The certainty that it's sapphire makes it way out from some corner of your subconscious. Look closer. On the altar sits a sleek knife. Looks like some kind of stone, sharp and reflective in the dim light, and a chalice, golden with green and blue gems inlaid. The inside of it is stained a dull brown. Cabinet? You get an ominous feeling looking at this cabinet. There's something bad lurking inside that you'll release if you open it. You really don't think you should. Oh, God, I really want to. But, let's play smart. Let's play smart. We'll look away. We won't. For now, stairs? Feels like too much of an invasion of privacy. No one's allowed upstairs. You have a feeling that you wouldn't like what you found up there anyway. Okay. Let's be smart. Let's leave then. The map. We have quite a bit of food. We need to figure out where we're going to go. I guess we could head towards the market. I guess we just keep exploring, really. That's kind of the thing, isn't it? So let's go to 7th Street, and then we need to go south. Another corpse we've seen. We've done all those. Let's keep going south. You once heard someone describe 7th Street as the backbone of the community. You thought that was silly. You can see smoke. Where could that be coming from? It wafts up towards heaven. Try the market. You remember something. It was many years ago. You were little. Mama had brought you to the market with her. Phoebe, don't run ahead. You weren't running, of course, but neither were you paying attention. You were excited to see all the produce. The piles of fruit and vegetables in their boxes were so beautiful. They were like a painting. Colorful and bright. Much more exciting than the dairy section or butcher's counter. And the things Mama brought home from the section were the tastiest of all. There was one thing you'd wanted above anything else. You wanted a peach. Beryl had given you a piece of hers at school, and as you bit down, the softest, sweetest flesh had filled your mouth. You wanted one all to yourself. But when you held one up to Mama, she said no. You threw a tantrum. You didn't know any better. You were a little kid. Phoebe, you cut that out right now. People are staring. You hadn't paid any attention. You were to wash in a sea of grief. The bereavement, the shattering of your hope, it was all too much. Mama had tried to move you along, but you'd locked your wheels. Excuse me, sorry. Need a quick drink. Oh, that's good stuff. And stayed stubbornly put, pounding your fists on the armrests and wailing with your head thrown back. You hadn't seen the dark clouds crossing Mama's face. She seized your wrist and leaned in close. She whispered words that you still can't make sense of. Some of them you can't even remember.
Theta Phi Delta Psi Belta Psi Beta Attitarv Spiormer.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Now get moving, you little shit.
You can't remember the rest of that day, no matter how hard you try. You return to yourself, shakily, and behold a different scene. There must have been a fire. The ceiling is caved in, and all that's left of the walls is the jagged protrusions of support beams and metal studs. You hug your teddy bear tight and sit in the stillness, the quiet. Of all the things you've seen today, this makes you go cold, bleak, desolate. You don't like it here, in the center of the husk. The fire is long gone, but the smoke still rises. You see the produce aisle, the butcher's counter, and the pharmacy. Let's go produce aisle. The crates seem to be entirely gone. Not a peach to be found. Well, that's okay, because we got to eat one. So, butcher's counter. Much of the glass is shattered. The meat has been reduced to char. You try to make your way behind the counter, but there's rubble blocking the path back. You might blow a tire if you try to roll over that, and you don't have any spares with you. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Pharmacy. This is where Mama used to get her meds. Looks like the yellow bottle's all melted. The plastic has dripped down and formed chalky stalactites off the metal shelves. Ugh. Let's get on out of here. Have the map. So we've explored quite a few places so far. Did we head towards the graveyard? I feel like it's good to hit some of these places before we try to leave through the gate, right? So let's go. Sickle Street. This is not a street you like to spend too much time on. See the great gate to the graveyard and a lamb. Ooh. I'm just taking the drink. Sorry, my throat is... Too long of talking. It's amongst the tallest structures in the community. Huge and wrought iron, with vines crawling up its posts. A small amethyst crowns its pointed top. The gate stands open. A lamb! On closer inspection, it's not a lamb. It's something else. Something wrong. It regards you coolly with 7 insectoid eyes, spaced evenly around its head. Bony spurs protrude, seemingly at random. From its body, you count 4 before your eyes begin to hurt. Ooh. For a moment, your surroundings seem to flicker. You see a throne behind it, and 4 beasts surrounding it, and a sea of men extending into infinity, watching it. Then you're back, mind fuzzy but grounded in the present. What the fuck? Guess we'll try the graveyard. You haven't been here in years. There's a lot more empty land than there are graves. Someone planned ahead. You can see an unmarked grave. You remember something. You hadn't thought about this in years. This was your father's grave. Or at least, you would pretend it was. You didn't have a father. So Mama said. Based on many of the things Carnelian had told you, the idea of you not having a father at all seemed relatively improbable. You figured maybe it was just one of those things adults said. So when you needed to talk to someone, you'd come here. And he would always listen patiently and not interrupt and give you room to breathe. That was something you couldn't find with anyone else. Eventually, though, you'd grown out of such childish things. You'd toughened up. Learned to act like an adult. You didn't need a father when you had your community. They provided everything you needed. So they said. See, there's nothing left for you here. Okay, let's leave the graveyard. Wormwood Way. You never quite understood the purpose of this street. It's more of an intermediary between the places it borders than a location in its own right. You can see a rainbow, a trail of footprints, and a fire. Let's see. So you got the pavilion here, and then that's to reach North Wormwood Way. To go south is to the statue. I would say we hit these then. Let's start with the rainbow. You couldn't touch it, even if you reached up as far as you could. Somewhere in nowhere, you hear the sound of knuckles on wood. Ooh, that's a fun rhyme. Trail of footprints. They are a dark brownish red. They look like they were made by a pair of large work boots that would smear as you roll over them. They approach from the northwest and head south. You wonder whether this is the blood of the person who made the prints, or if they were covered in the blood of someone else. Or both. A fire. It's a small thing, really. A pile of garbage burns in the middle of the street. Nothing to worry yourself over. You just roll around. It'll sort itself out. Cool. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Let's go pavilion. It's a roof on wooden columns, with rows of picnic tables underneath. This is where you'd hold community-wide meetings, and morning announcements and prayer. You can see the seats. You've sat on one or another of these wooden benches every day for as long as you can remember. Community lunches and dinners, special events, birthdays, announcements. Looking down at yourself, you discover, with a mix of horror and amusement, that you've unconsciously swung yourself out of your chair and onto one of them without even realizing. It's like second nature. I get it. You sit in the silence for a moment. It doesn't give you the feeling of normalcy you'd hope for. The stage. You remember something. You were eating communal lunch like every day. Mama sat on one side of you, Miss Pearl on the other. You don't remember what the food was, truth be told. It all tasted the same. You were sweating. Why were you sweating? Prophet Hunter took the stage. That was unusual. Usually one of the other community leaders gave announcements. Not Prophet Hunter himself. Beryl, daughter of Sapphire, please step forward. There was a hush. Slowly, Beryl stood and walked to the stage. When Prophet Hunter spoke, you obeyed. He regarded her coolly. Do you have anything you'd like to tell the community? She'd shaken her head. Slowly, hesitantly. She was trembling. Prophet Hunter sighed, disappointed. Girl, you and I both know you have sinned. You have committed the sin of dirtiness. You have committed the sin of dishonesty. And you have committed the sin of lust before our Lord God. Do you deny it? She didn't. Prophet Hunter turned and walked to the front wall. He pulled the cat-o'-nine down from where it hung. He held it out to her. By the power invested in me by God, I declare you shall atone through 20 lashes, self-administered before the community. He then turned to face out. I'd like to thank Phoebe, daughter of for bringing these grave offenses to my attention. You are demonstrating for us how to be a pillar of the community. As Beryl began, Mama leaned over to whisper to you. I can't believe you ratted her out, she'd muttered. You looked at her incredulously, still able to taste the algae in the back of your throat. Though you didn't say anything, she seemed to understand. There's a lesson you need to learn. She said, and learn quickly. The rules are there for a reason, of course. They're for our own good. But so, too, is discretion. If you're a tattletale about other community members, you will only breed mistrust and ostracize yourself, and you need the community to survive. Furthermore, what she can keep discreet is her business. I made clear my thoughts on you engaging in that behavior. But her soul is not my concern, nor is it yours. So watch her punishment carefully and remember, every time that whip comes down on her back, it's not her swinging it. It's you. Dang. Woo, Vile Lake. This is not the lake you remember. Storm clouds circle, the water is red. You can see the beach and the lake. Ooh, beach? You remember something. You were sitting on this beach with Beryl. You'd been friends for a long time and had hung out here many times before, but something was different this time. Both of you had been talking, quieter, giggling, glancing over your shoulders. And then she had leaned in and kissed you. Something burst forth in your chest, and you were filled with a deluge of unfamiliar emotion. Elation, arousal, disgust, rapture. Her lips were soft and warm, and her hand on your arm sent electrical impulses through your entire body. You didn't know it was possible to feel this way. You never wanted this moment to end. Phoebe! A familiar voice had broken the spell. Oh no, oh no, oh no! You'd pushed Beryl away, but the damage was done. You little bitch! You little whore! She'd yelled as she rushed at you. She'd ignored Beryl entirely and grabbed you by the hair. Do you want to live in sin? Is this what you want? She'd roared as she dragged you towards the water. A life of sin is no life to live, she'd cried, and pushed your head under the surface. You don't remember anything after that. Until that night, when you woke up in your bed. She never directly mentioned the incident again. At least, as far as you can remember right now. So that's the precursor to what happened to Beryl on the stage then. Oy, the lake. You see the lake, perverted. You see 1,000 years of desolation. You see 1,000 years of desolation. A great city consuming itself alive. The seventh angel crying, "It is done." You see too much. You see water swirling with blood. You see a white horse, smoke that rises forever. A white horse. A woman sitting on a beast full of names of blasphemy. You see fire. To eternity. I guess it just keeps going. Maybe you could just keep going crazy this way. We'll look away. We'll look away. It's fine. It's fine. So we've done the lake. We've done the pavilion. I don't think we need to do anything else up here. I think we head towards the statue and then try to get out of here. I do wonder what this is, though. I couldn't figure that out. We haven't found anything else, like another key or anything. I guess there's still that other little bit of Prophet Hunter's Mansion we could attempt to do, but maybe I think we try to do the... I think we go south. Habitually, you avert your eyes from the fence. This is one of the only places in the community where you can see outside the compound. That's what makes it so dangerous. The woman mystery again. Ooh, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. You can see her riding on a beast with 7 heads and 10 horns at the corner of your eye. And the time it takes a turn to look straight at her, she vanishes. You feel unclean. Trail of footprints. They approach from the north and head east. Blood is dry, but it looks fresher here, more red. You're getting close. You dry heave. Let's keep going. Chrysalid Boulevard is the only way to access the Statue of the Angel, the place where you've been trained to go for guidance if Prophet Hunter and the other community leaders are unavailable. Approaching the street, you hear growling. What you see makes you stop before actually turning onto the street. A pack of hungry dogs prowls along the boulevard. You recognize Miss Pearl's boxer hound. You recognize Carnelian's bulldog. You recognize Prophet Hunter's 3 German shepherds. There are at least 6 others, but you can't remember off the top of your head who they belong to. They all look thin. They all look hungry. They all look feral. A few of them raise their heads to look at you. One of them bares its teeth. The breeze picks up, and once again you smell the rotting meat in your chair pocket. It's too putrid for you to stomach, but maybe throw the meat. You take the rotting meat from the pocket in the back of your chair. The smell makes you gag once again, and you make a mental note to wash the pocket out later. One at a time, you toss the 3 pieces of meat off into the grass to the right. The dogs, no longer paying you any mind, dash off after it. You hope it will hold them. Proceed. Don't look at the fence. Don't look at the fence. The only reason to be here is to get to the statue. Best not to linger. The dogs, turn to the meat, hold them for a while. Trail of footprints, approach from the west and head north. They head towards the statue. Whoever they are, you know you'll find them here. Let's go. He is tall and imposing. Powerful. Intimidating. He watches over the compound. You can see the sword in his mouth. The verse is at his feet, and Prophet Hunter. Sword in his mouth? It's a stain to try and reach it, but once your hand wraps around the hilt, it slides out easily through one of his cheeks. It's heavy. It'll take some getting used to. It's very big. It's intimidating, just like him. It will protect you. Sweet, we have a sword. Verse is at his feet. And out of his mouth goeth the sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty God. And the remnant was slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. Prophet Hunter. You watch him, warily, though he's clearly dead. He's splayed out on his back, glassy eyes skewed skyward. A 5-pointed star is burned upside down in his forehead. There are purple stains on his hands and face. You remember Carnelian telling you his hyacinths were poisonous. You remember seeing some of the bulbs missing. You didn't know he could die. He looks so average in death. Below average, even. He looks gangly and awkward, unkempt and unremarkable. You realize with dull shock that him being here means that, just like you, he didn't float up with everyone else. He was just a man. 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 You weep for everybody you've ever known. It's time to leave. Oh, boy. Guess we could try to head towards the gate, then. Or do we go back to the... Nah, I think we try to leave. This has always been a dangerous part of the compound, but now the gate and all its temptations don't seem so sinister. You can see the warning signs. There are too many to take the time to reread them all, but you've memorized the general gist. Leaving and joining in the sin that resides outside means eternal damnation. The only safe place is here. Corpse of a dog. It would appear they've turned on their own. There's barely more than bones left. Let's go to the gate. This is the gate that leads out of the compound. This is a line you never thought you'd cross. You're fed up. Oh, you're fed and you have something to protect yourself with, but something gnaws at the back of your mind. Something still doesn't add up. Once you leave, you won't be back. If you want to learn the truth that's been kept from you all these years, it's now or never. Shit. Prophet Hunter's house. Let's go. Ceremony room, cabinet, closer. You imagine finding the corpse of Mama in there, or of Beryl or of Carnelian, preserved and dead and grinning. So we're checking out the cabinet in the ceremony room in Prophet Hunter's house, just to let you know what we're doing quickly. Don't look any closer. Walk away from this.
You've no idea what you're fucking with, girl. Look away, little whore, now.
A stabbing pain lances through your head as you fling the cabinet doors open. You cry out and clutch your scalp. You stay that way for a long time, moaning and swaying slightly. When you pull your hands away from your head, you see long scratch marks down your arms. When did those get there? And inside the cabinet is nothing special. You see bottles of liquid, all different colors, sticks of incense, and a journal. Journal. You've pieced enough together by now that you know to skip the first few pages and only skim the rest. You usually have no choice but to do what Prophet Hunter commands. But if you don't know his commands, you can't follow them. The journal is full of lists of names. Some of them you recognize as the names of people, some as the names of livestock. Beryl's and Mama's names are both in one list, Carnelian's is in another. Actually, you see Beryl's name on several different lists. Your name is nowhere to be found. Some things you can't understand, but you don't try to decipher them. You don't want to risk returning to consciousness bleeding. Most of the rest of the journal is a day-to-day record, something like a diary. But it strikes you as odd that Prophet Hunter's writing is so cryptic in what is, as far as you can tell, a private document. So many nonsensical things appear frequently and casually. Spoke with the Archangel today. Arranged for delivery. The saint was caught playing with emeralds yesterday. Perhaps harsher sanctification is in order. It is nearly time for Lazarus' baptism in the grove. Hope she is responsive given her inutility. That's a funny word. That last one catches your eye, because it's the fifth time in just a few pages you've seen him mention the grove. Something tickles the back of your skull every time you see it referenced. He mentions on a previous page that the grove is across from the chapel, which means it's in those woods you were told never to enter. Ooh, all right, we know where we're going. We know where we're going. We know where we're going. Go down, go left. Chapel. Labyrinth. Trees. Really? Labyrinth? No. Huh? I guess that's it. That's what I'm trying to reach. Oh, here we go. A break in the trees. Sorry. You remember something. You remember many things in small fragments. First, the smell hits you. Hundreds of dead animals. Cows, sheep, chickens. Then the knife in your hands. You've seen that knife already today, and Prophet Hunter's altar. And Prophet Hunter had guided your hand. No, that's not quite right. He had guided your mind, as he had guided hundreds of others. You see hundreds of girls and women and boys and men. You see hundreds of cattle. It occurs to you that you knew this meat was here the whole time. Why didn't you seek it out? Because their bodies were holy. Yes, they were sacred and not to be touched, but wasn't your body sacred too? Weren't Beryl's, Carnelian's, Mama's? Who gave him the right to touch those? The animals served something greater than themselves, so did you. The animals were small and trusting. As their bodies were brutalized, they screamed and struggled and begged. Foreign objects in their guts, their ears, their brains, all for a higher purpose. The blood was warm, you remember that. You don't know how many, but you know enough. Your tears are warm, streaming down your cheeks. How many lives have been destroyed in this place? And to him, you were all just livestock. Scratches begin to appear on your arms. You need to leave. You hear a chorus of screams. They've been sounding for years. Look away, look away, look away. Your heart races as you wheel back out into Lamb Lane. You can't catch your breath. How could you have forgotten? Had you ever forgotten? Why even now can't you remember all that happened? You struggle to hold on to consciousness. You hug your teddy bear as tightly to your chest as you can, using the pressure and the burn in your arms to try and ground yourself. The community is all you've ever known, but you can't stay a second longer. The gate to the outside world is at the end of 7th Street. You need to get moving. Let's go. Boom, boom. Gate. You think you're ready now. You're fed, you know the truth, you can protect yourself. You're ready to leave this place behind. Go on. The gate stands open. You squeeze your teddy bear and wheel your way out of the community. You were not smited on the spot. The gravel road isn't the most comforting under your tires, but it's better than getting them tangled in the grass. The journey is not as long as you expected. You soon find yourself on a paved road. You wheel your way down the middle of it, listening to the emptiness. On a parallel road, cars rush by. Were there other survivors? Are you not alone? You hear tires approaching from behind you and freeze. You hear a sound like a goose, but impossibly loud. You turn around and you see a car. It's sleek and red, built for speed. You wheel around to the side. The car door swings open, and you meet us. The woman who sees the blood and says you're going to be alright and dials 911. She is us. The paramedic who cleans you up and wonders at how you escaped from that place. He is us. The social workers and the reporters and the concerned citizens. They are us. You did it. You found food. You uncovered the truth. You kept yourself safe. You found your way out of that dark, dark place under your own power, and we are so glad that you did. It's over. You can rest now. We welcome you with open arms. Holy cow. Holy cow. Wow. Thank you for playing We the Remainder. You managed to escape the situation, the first step in the healing process. So this is about cycles of abuse and finding a way to leave it. Wow. Special thanks to Caitlin Joy, Ian Hartman, Julia Byrne, Quinn Cochran, Rose Sullivan-Levitt, Teresa Cochran, and William Cochran for beta testing. If you'd like to learn more about ritual abuse and its long-term psychological effects, survivorship.org is a good resource. The information on their website was vital to the creation of this game. Ooh, show my stats, yeah. Took 90 turns indoors, 149 turns outdoors, total of 239 turns. Found the food you needed to leave, found the truth about the community, found what you needed to protect yourself. We found 7 out of 7 optional memories. Ayo! And we interacted with the woman mystery 2 times. We got the true ending escape. Hey! That's what I'm talking about. Amazing. That was amazing. That was... wow. It was dark. It was gripping. It was truly a great journey. What a fantastic story, adventure. That is horror in a variety of ways, right? It really just kind of opens up a perspective in your mind, and it really fucks with you. It's so good. It's so good. Yet another fantastic horror adventure by Charm. Always excited to play more Charm Cochran games. I'm not even going to lie to you. And this one was recommended specifically by Charm, and of course we had to do it. I trust Charm's judgment. Charm has great taste and makes fucking killer stories. So, thank you so much for watching and supporting us. And if you like these Charm Cochran games, there are many ways to play them yourself. I've got links down in the description below for the itch.io page and also I forget the letters, but there's 2 different pages where you can access all these games yourself. It's incredible. Simply incredible. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you for the next Nate at Night experience. Take care out there.